where I'm going, what I do, how I step forward into the new version of me that is being birthed at this time.
Together we are one. Together we can rise. We've never been separate. That's an illusion in itself. We have to stay focused on the end game and the higher perspective. But the only thing that will last is love, true love. We have to catch ourselves in the way that we think. But don't feed the fears. Well, that will never happen to me. I'm just not smart enough. Replace that thought with, well, why couldn't that happen to me? I'm just as good as anyone else.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever wanted instant guidance from your guides, then do we have the Psychic Medium show for you. Today I'll be speaking with Kim Russo, world-famous medium, the host of the ever-popular Celebrity Ghost Stories, and the author of at least 2 brilliant books, Your Soul Purpose and The Happy Medium. And that's just what I want to talk with her about today, about how to plug into your guides, speak with the other side, and get guidance when you need it right now in your life. That, plus we'll talk about Geminis, making space, and what in the world twin predictions has to do with anything. So welcome back to the show, Kim. Are you ready to shine?
Yeah, always. Thank you, Michael. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. And we'll address the fact that I look like I had a little bit of a arm wrestling match with an SUV in a few minutes. But before we dive in and discuss my accident, do you remember what was predicted for us in terms of babies all the way back in 2017?
So I did briefly remember it and recall connecting with the brilliant soul that was hovering around you and Jessica. And I recall she was strong, powerful, determined, and anxious. I remember she told me there was a short window of time for you to bring her in. And I remember speaking to a very wise soul that was asking for permission to come on in. Yes, I remember that. But other details I may not recall.
I went back and listened. You aren't expected to. I went back and listened to a 2017 interview and a 2021. Here's what I got out of 2017. That there was a second soul very close to the first that wanted to come in, and either would come in at the same time as twins or just afterwards. That was 2017. And 2021, you said that because we had 3 miscarriages in that time, one soul was trying to come through several times and had to let go of a second soul, a twin, in order to come in. And so this time you are getting Gemini, which could be May, June baby, or it could be that the twin is going to come without having to leave the other soul behind, but come in both together as, in a sense, as one, meaning at the same time. And we just got our 12.5-week ultrasound. I guess you call it the 13-week ultrasound 2 days ago. And it's 2 beautiful, healthy, happy baby girls laying side by side. At the 10-week ultrasound, they were spooning each other. Now they're laying side by side. They are just so incredibly close.
I have no words. I just, when the vision comes into the physical, nothing makes me happier. Not because the prediction was accurate, although that's pretty cool. But it's mostly because energy just is energy, whether it be in that dimension, this dimension, it just is. And we just have to tune up our spiritual eyes to be able to interpret the energy. This just warms my heart so much for you. And may I ask when the predicted due date is?
So the predicted due date, so there's a little bit of a chicken and the egg here, Kim. So the predicted due date is a due date based on singleton. So with twins, they tend to come a little bit earlier. So the predicted due date is May 28th, Gemini.
Oh, wow.
With that said, you had said that there was a very narrow window to bring forth girls, or it would be another soul or souls coming forward. And that certainly motivated us to shoot for the Gemini baby or babies. Now, what's interesting here is that we, after your interview, one of the things that you mentioned to us is that we got to build in space. And those first three miscarriages, we weren't in the right space. So we set a deadline for when Jessica would be out of the main work of the business. And we and then kept on working to get her out and get her out more and more. And we got twin dolls. They're in the bedroom right now, or I'd have them by our side. Before we conceived, whose names are Hana and Miraku. One's Flower, which you predicted one would be called Flower, and the other means miracle, because if you have a second baby coming through to me, that's a miracle. I mean, it's a miracle either which way, but that's a miracle. And we carried those dolls around with us. We set those dolls at the dinner table on occasion. They were in my arms when we slept. They went with us everywhere, and I started doing automatic writing to the girls before we conceived. Girls, plural, before we conceived. And I believe you had a big role in that.
Well, you just sparked a memory where when I believe it was Hannah, when she was speaking to me, she said to set a place setting at the table for her. That just came to me again. And you said you sat them at the dinner table, but you went a few steps beyond, which I think is even better. You already simulated the experience and just brought it right to you. And of course, she had help. She was part of it, and as well as, is it Miracle? Is that what you
Yes.
call?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful name. Beautiful. She's tagging along for the ride. That's how I just heard it. But doesn't mean she's not significant in a huge way. There's they'll each have their roles to play. They're already front and center. So, and what I learned through doing so many readings over the years is that the soul, before it incarnates on earth, has the ability to vacillate, go in and out of the mom's womb, until about 6 months.
Okay.
This is what Spirit told me on many readings. And at about 6 months, there's more of a stay put type of an order to have the experience further, coming into, the womb, the kicking, giving the parents the experience as well. So yeah, they can kind of go in between realms right at this moment.
Cool. And I take them, as strange as it sounds. Well, I did up until last week. I took them for bike rides with me. I took them for hikes. I keep seeing it's almost purple, but it's more blue orbs, two orbs appearing at the same time. I'm like, all right, Hana and Miraku, you're with me. Let's go. Let's play. And I call them in, and I call them in, and I talk to them, and I'm doing my best. Not just so I write to guides. You speak to guides, I write to guides. But I'm writing to them as well and speaking to them on the other side as well, as if they are elders, because I actually do believe they are elders. These are power players who are coming in, and it just happens to be this lifetime they're coming in, and they said this is the sweet spot. They love this role as being our kids, but they've played every role in countless lifetimes together. But I'm already developing that relationship of speaking with them on the other side.
Well, I think that's very rare, uh, for most dads to do that. But this is something I think you'll have to start teaching. Like, those Lamaze classes where they teach you how to breathe to deliver. It would be such a beautiful class to take. And maybe you can start that, initiate how to speak to your unborn child, and see the signs all around you. Maybe there's your next book.
Well, it's interesting because in all humility, I never thought about it being that unique until you're mentioning it right now, because that's just the world we live in. I'm like, well, of course we're writing to them, of course we're speaking to them. But I like what you're saying.
Well, I don't know. Maybe enlightened dads or spiritual dads do this, but many, I don't know that we've been programmed to take on that role, the male, the dad. It's more about preparing the nest and making it a safe haven, and having all the supplies. That's where we were programmed with the dad. But I love your approach because you're integrating the love before they even get here from a dad's perspective, right? So we're doing the whole divine feminine thing now, getting in touch with both sides of us. And I think that's precisely why they picked you anyway, because of this integration. And there'll be more of it, even
Thank you.
because the hearts will be cracking open once you become parents. It just changes you in a way that no one could describe unless they actually go through it. Even if you adopt a pet, it changes you. You become responsible for this other being, and you and that goes for a lifetime. It doesn't matter how old they are.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm going to go down this road just a little bit more. I want to make sure that we are incorporating everybody today because I want everybody to come away from this with some understandings on how to get guidance. I do sleep until the injury this week. I do sleep with both of the dolls in my arms because Jessica's so nauseous she can't do it. So I'm there. I'm there to love them up, kind of divine feminine mixed with the masculine there to love them up during sleep. Um, there was another point that I had about this. Um, I guess we'll double back to it. Um, the heart opening. I had a heart test for surgery coming up, and they had done an EKG on me and said that my heart was in a bad state and that they may not be able to do surgery, that I could even croak on the spot. And I'm going, oh, that doesn't sound possible. I've been doing so much work on my heart, so much loving my heart, so much, in a sense, cracking open. Then they did a more advanced test on me, an ultrasound. And the operator's going, oh, wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. And we got the doc in there, and he said, you have an enlarged athletic heart, but it's the most amazing heart. It's a unique heart. It's huge. It's strong. It's powerful. It's clean. It's clear. It's healthy. And I can't help but think, certainly part of that is my athletic, but part of that is doing the work on opening our hearts that actually helps you to have a stronger, healthier, bigger heart.
Well, I think that with this ascension and the heart opening, I think that professionals, doctors, heart specialists, I don't think they've seen this before. Because if you think about a vibrational crack, it's definitely going to register somewhere in some kind of equipment, wouldn't you think?
And
You
it
know,
did.
it does. And a lot of people are having these arrhythmias and they feel like they're having heart attacks. And then um, they find out, they're finally released from the hospital and they find out they're fine. There's nothing wrong. And of course, you have to take precaution because you could, God forbid, be having a true heart attack. But it's also been known that people die of a broken heart as well, like when their loved ones pass on or their spouses pass. So the heart really does, it's a little bit tricky in how it sort of shows up in the technical equipment. But I'm so happy they went for this more advanced test because what I was being told as you were speaking is by the girls, and they spell it with a Z. I don't know why.
You know what's interesting? I had a stuffed animal that I went from. I've had a teddy I slept with for years. He was getting tired, so I upgraded to a different stuffed animal after we traveled this fall. One found on the side of the road, which is so cool. It's a giraffe, and his name is Z. So it's interesting that girls with a Z, because I've been sleeping with Z until replaced with the girls.
Isn't that interesting? Because they said they focused on the letter Z instead of an S at the end. And they said, make sure you tell them it's spelled with a Z. So, and they're speaking collectively. And they had you might know this already, but I never assume that people know things that come through. They would have never intervened in your accident if it were just that you were going to quote unquote croak on the table. It's highly unlikely, only because they have a lot to do with you coming up. At least that's their plan. If God has a different
I
plan,
am open.
yeah, yeah. I just feel that this is, well, if you don't mind, they show up when they show up, and
Go
I,
for it.
okay, thank you. There's there's a little bit of a slowing down that had to happen with you because your mind is going in so many different directions and how much you want to achieve before they get here or accomplish or close up loose ends. These are your words, they said. In your mind, you think, oh, I want to do this before the girls get here. They want you to sort of change that mindset uh, because there's so much more that will happen while they're here. So they want to be part of it all. Um, it's like, don't knock yourself out trying to finish things to get prepared. They said you've been preparing for them your whole life and then some, so other lives as well. And they're finally able to reunite with you and Jessica in this lifetime. You've traveled in a clan with them in the past. I see you in what looks like a desert, barefoot, and just a very indigenous kind of community. And they were very much a part of your, they call it survival. And in that lifetime, it was survival of the physical. And in this lifetime, it's survival of the spirit. That's what they said.
Can they, and I've lots of very specific questions for him. I just want to make sure I include everybody else today. So, but we'll go with the flow. Can we get more of an understanding? What does survival of the spirit mean?
So I understood it on a higher level, and I need to translate it into words that people can understand. It's okay. So what it is it's the shedding of the false belief systems. It's not becoming, it's unbecoming who you thought you were, who we were taught we were. So it's like shedding layers of a false reality based in fear, based in lies, based in inverted realities, and really just living in the 0 point of the heart space, which connects to the one and learning that we are not separate. But it's more about deprogramming and unlearning is how the spirit will survive.
That makes sense to me, and that goes along with some perfect teachings. There was a teaching I had the morning that this happened that I got hit by a car. I was channeling Rumi because I channel a different master once a month, and I was channeling Rumi who wanted to talk with me about, and I taught it this Wednesday, so it had to wait a week, but it was Ooga Booga reading it about the shattering and about the pickaxe and about how getting back to your primordial essence and your primordial soul, the light that is within, by letting go of these ceramic, bone-like outer coverings that are no longer here to serve us.
Yes, like a coat of armor, if you will, and rising out of the lower chakras, which is where the survival of the physical exists, and integrating that with primarily focusing on the higher chakras, where the spirit resides and where we can connect to all that is. And so, of course, that is ascension. And I always try to bring it into a very easy, understandable language because that's how I learn. And the lower chakras is the physical. This is how we survive. It's how we trust people. It's our food, it's our clothing, it's our shelter. And I feel all of this is being threatened right now. So we really have to resort to what we know innately as a spirit, because what we thought we knew as a human is failing us, and all the rules are changing. So, what do we do at that point? We have to go within to the truth of who we are.
How do we do that? So I think of myself, which is I was extremely zippy. I set 4 personal records on my bicycle this fall until until last week, and now I am moving at half or tenth sloth speed, which is requiring me to go in. How do we all go in during this time? Because we are all being challenged with a reset, saying that's who you were. There is a new, greater version of yourself just waiting to be born.
Well, actually, as you said that, Michael, I was picturing a woman in labor, childbirth, and doing that breath work. And did it ever occur to you that perhaps when you were riding your bicycle and you were getting that breath going, that was how you were coming into your higher self?
Yes, it's been, well, what I've taken note of is, except for the last few miles around the house, which have too much traffic, and that's where it happened, is that flow state has been, in a sense, a very powerful meditation, a transforming experience each time I'm going out, helping me to dive deeper. It appears on one level to be about the physical, but it's not at all about the physical.
Well, I can't help but think that you attracted that car into your field on another level, of course. And I know that sounds bizarre and people won't agree with it, but I am being shown that. And I'm also being told that. And I myself am questioning, okay, what does that mean? Give me more, because you can't just drop that kind of a bomb and not explain it. And I'm actually waiting for an explanation, because what I'm being told is it came out of nowhere. Like they weren't there, and you're very cautious when you turn. I see you turning your head and going around curves. You're very cautious. They came out of nowhere. Physical pain. That's what I just heard. Transcending the physical pain. Okay. They told me that this was not an exit point for you, because that was what I asked. Is this what may he have taken an exit point at this juncture? And they said that wasn't on the radar. That was not the plan. It was a little bit just to bump you into another experience with physical pain. This makes no sense to me. But it's reminiscent of a life where you were tortured to your death by physical pain for your belief systems. And I don't understand it all just yet, but you're now healing that wound from that life. And this is sparking a lot of memories for you, cellular memories, spiritual memory on another level. And this is one of the only ways you can release it. I know that sounds bizarre. It's because why would you have to experience the pain again to release it? But they said that it was so deep within you, and the physical is now integrating with the spiritual. So they wanted it to feel tangible. I, I don't understand that, but I will deliver it the way they gave it to me.
Well, seeing as I'm trying to rest on one butt cheek right now because I've got my pelvis broken and it hurts to sit on the other side. I'll, I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
It almost sounds like not nice what they're showing me.
If we look at it from a physical level, but if we look at it, for instance, I took a Tylenol when I slept last night. I think I took 2 at some point. I'm not even using painkillers, not as a hero, far from it, but just because it's just energy.
Oh, okay. So they just said compare it to walking on hot coals, Kim. They were addressing me directly. What does the master achieve walking across hot coals? So what is that's this? It's a pain level. So then I understand it. So when you they show it like a threshold. When you cross the threshold of that pain, uh, there's more of an awakening that happens where you can transcend the physical. So there's so much more of a transcendence happening right now. And yes, they want you to sleep, and they call you dear Michael. Um, what they said was they would use other forms than Tylenol. Consult with your herbalist. Now, I don't even know if you have an herbalist.
I don't, but I'm sure I could put out the call, and by the end of this going live, there will be herbalists probably contacting me.
Well, yes, that's probably why it was said. They says although we recommend something different than Tylenol, we do need you to sleep, dear Michael. So it's in a way you've been looking for more of a challenge to transcend, like an accelerated growth. They said you've been asking for that. Maybe not this particular way, but on a level your warrior soul can doesn't settle for less than mastery. You've always been that way, they said.
Well, I love the path I'm on. Thank you. And melatonin is what pops in my head that we did a little bit in the hospital and forgot about. So I might go back to that. Um, but I have had a mantra. But it's interesting because Rumi came up and talked about the shattering in the pickaxe only a few hours before it happened, and how this is for your benefit. And he actually said to me specifically, it's coming, it's coming. And I'm going, oh, and when I reread it, I'm like, oh crap, because I reread it afterwards. But I do want all of the expansion and growth, but I do ask for it in the kindest, gentlest, easiest fashion. Now, with that said, we all do get some level of pain this lifetime, and nothing that's happened to me is permanent. So, in that sense, it's a tremendous gift, and it is, I guess, as kind, gentle, easy, good, and it can be as it could be.
The girls come in with healing ability, by the way, and all they'll have to do is touch your shoulder, touch your pelvis. Daddy, you have pain. Like I see them as little toddlers, um, and like automatically just touching you, and the energy will just. I don't see long term damage, but it's because there'll be continuous healing going on. So this is really interesting as well.
Very cool. And I had not heard that one. I've heard they're coming in as advanced elders that are here to help. No pressure, but shift consciousness at this point, and that they have very powerful rules to do is what I've been hearing from them. I also hear that they're spunky, and that they have one heck of a sense of humor. They're going to be jabbing us as much as we would jab them, so to speak. These are strong women in girl form.
In the elder community, there's many healers that goes with the territory in the package. But I might add they're polar opposites. I will add that. One will definitely gravitate towards you, and one will be obviously for Jessica, and then together, I see it as a whole family, beautiful connection. But the polar opposite thing, one is the tomboy, and one will be, all about the frilly dresses, and it's again the integration of the masculine and the feminine. Why wouldn't they come like that?
Perfect. So then let's bring this to everybody, and we'll see what other things you're called to share, because I know that Spirit started speaking to you before you even got started here.
Yes.
To me, and I do have some specific questions for the girls because we're wanting guidance at this time, but we're all wanting guidance during this time. I think we all feel, in a sense, like we just got hit by an SUV
Yes,
and
you
we're
did.
going, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. No, you could not have explained that any better. Or that we're in some episode of The Twilight Zone. How about that one?
Perfect. Exactly. So, how do we begin connecting with spirit here, now, today? To say, can you can you give a dog a bone? Can you give me an idea where I'm going, what I do, how I step forward into the new version of me that is being birthed at this time?
Well, I can only speak from the I perspective because I am actually going through this myself at the current time, where my guides have told me that they started my journey as giving me these abilities to be a medium, but that was only the beginning of the whole thing that I'm not even sure what that will be. And what what they often tell me, and I will share this with the collective, is they show me Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz being surrounded by tornadoes, right? Houses are flying, everything's happening, and she is just standing still, hoping to find her home in the midst of her, well, clicking her heels, obviously, but the it's sort of like standing in the middle of a tornado, and it depends where you keep your focus. Do you look at this spinning house coming right to you? Do you see the flying monkeys, or really, or the good witch and the bad witch? It's really so representative of our ascension and our growth, that many years ago that movie depicted all of this. The man behind the curtain. Is it real? Is it an illusion? Is it a hologram? The only thing that's real is love. And standing in the midst of all this and just keeping your focus on the good, on that good will prevail, that love always wins. And I'm a realist. I'm not a person that, I like to dabble in reality as well. But what is reality? See, now we're creating a different reality. So you have to kind of be careful with words. They don't even mean anything anymore. Which reality? When you speak about standing in reality, which reality? So we're creating our own reality. And I would say that this enlightened community that follows you, Michael, is all on the same page, that together we are one, together we can rise. We've never been separate. That's an illusion in itself. And so I wrote a whole book about it. We have to find our tribe for support. We have to stay focused on the end game and the higher perspective, and basically tuning out all the flying monkeys, because that's going to come and that's going to go. But the only thing that will last is love, true love.
Woohoo! So, so then let's bring up a few questions. We'll bounce back and forth for everybody and for ourselves. Our big question, the one thing that I wanted to get nailed down, so to speak, before this boo-boo took place, the biggie was it, and I want to be careful, very careful with my words, because I want to ensure that I'm bringing about what I desire. It has appeared to be that in certain states, New Jersey being one of them, it is hard to get natural care for birthing when you have identical baby twins involved. And so we have been asking, where do we move for the healthiest birth for Jessica, for the healthiest birth for Hana and Miraku? And so, because we have been traveling in this beautiful RV, it is time to root, at least root through the birth, if not root for this first year, and then find our, I don't know if anything is a forever home anymore, but at least that. And so we've been asking, where do we go? And you said, hoping to find a home.
I can only give you what popped in my head. I have no rhyme or reason. Um, but they showed me Florida.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I just knew you were going to say that.
And it's not because actually I'm in Florida, and it's actually not because I'm in Florida. But if I may share this with you, you know how a spirit will show me or show you things in your own life that you would recognize so that you can put the pieces together and make sense of it. They showed me my nephew who had two babies that they're not twins, but by the doulas that they own an organic farm down here in Florida, and they've had wonderful experiences, no questions asked. I believe the births took place on the organic farm, of course, within the dwelling space, and they showed me that, and I don't question it. I just give you the vision. And really quickly, there was a secondary state that came to me. They said Montana. Now, again, I've never even been to Montana. I know nothing of it, but I don't ever trust what Kim knows. I trust what they give me.
Well, we had discussed last year whether it was Montana or South Dakota. We set up a residence in South Dakota, planning on coming back there. We got to the East Coast because of fires. Jessica gets sick with the smoke, and we decided Florida and New Hampshire. New Hampshire being the closest kind of what would you call it? Synonym for Montana, but more away from the smoke. Um, and now we are beautifully lost. And when I say lost, I don't look at lost as a judgment. I look at lost as being open and listening at this point, and listening to understand where to go.
I'm at the same place you are. I am right where you are. I know it's hard. I'm here for now, but I'm open if there's a change, and I actually feel there will be a change, but I'm not sure where the spirit is bringing me. But I am open. Um, the New Hampshire, I'm not sure where that came up, but what I'm actually being shown is the reason you left in the first place is atmospherically different now. So you might want to check back.
So for leaving from the West.
Yeah, for some reason, if you don't choose Florida, or if you, well, you're not staying in Florida. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I can really guarantee that.
We get to stay someplace for the next 6 months that I get to choose, as far as I can tell, in the next 30 days. We can't stay in an RV here in New Jersey in the winter. We wouldn't want to. We get to rent a home. I'd love to be someplace where Jessica can be more mobile. Her heart wants there, but her head says we need to be closer to family. So there's a going back and forth.
I'm not sure where family is, but I do feel that after this short trip now, within the next 6 months, I actually do see you going back west.
Interesting. Well, that was never in the radar. Cool, though. I love the West.
Or being pulled there for some reason. I actually do see that.
Very interesting.
And I do not see Florida long term. Perhaps maybe for the birth.
What do the girls want?
I just heard, we will show you. We will show you. One will have extreme allergies. Because when they said we will show you, I saw one of them with asthma, like asthma-like conditions, like very sensitive to pollen, or I don't see Northeast though. I mean, of course you have free will, but I believe that because of this one particular twin's condition with breathing, I'm not sure, it will help you make a decision when you need to.
Guidance. Excellent.
So also the portal that is opening now with the eclipse, we're filming today, right? On the full moon lunar eclipse
Absolutely.
in Taurus. Through this portal, Michael, so much of your vibration, Jessica's vibration, and the world's vibration will be changing. right? And Taurus is a lot about our values and our money system and our luxuries and our earthly things. You wouldn't know the answer until we step through this portal, this eclipse portal, because it will give you a whole different perspective. And the girls just sit there like laughing, like, don't try to figure it out now because it is another upgrade coming that will give you more of a perspective.
I hope it's a kind and gentle upgrade. This upgrade last week hurt a little bit.
No, this one's different. This one is more of a like, oh, how did we didn't know that before? It was so clear. It's right in our faces. Like it will just be so effortless. And there'll be people, this will be another prediction for another show, because there'll be people that will guide you there or make it very easy for you. There's a team of people. Maybe some you haven't met, but you'll know without a shadow of a doubt. It feels like I'm moving energy more Midwest or closer to the West, like off of the coast.
Thank you. How can other people dive in, our audience? How can we help them to dive in to get this guidance as well?
Conscious thoughts every moment. You need to, like a fishing net, you have to capture the thoughts that filter in from your past programming, childhood, family, schooling, government. We have to catch ourselves in the way that we think. Now, I've been doing this consciously. I'll give you an example. When I worry about where I should live or will live, I surrender it to my higher self. I literally know that the higher self connected to the one has the answer already. My path has been already, been paved. So what I do is I I am continuously in the flow of listening. Now, how do you do that? It is no different than tuning in the same room to either the Netflix on the television or the phone conversation you're having on the phone. You can shift your attention. Maybe I'll put it in terms of children because that's what's coming for you. Michael's on the phone with a doctor, a client, whoever, a friend, and the little girl is tugging on you, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, I want." And you keep shifting your attention to your friend or to what your daughter wants. And you can shift back and forth as many times as you'd like in the listening, and you can listen to both, right? And then you can address each one, but don't feed the fears or the negatives. So when you start to think about, well, that will never happen to me, I'm just not smart enough. Replace that thought with, well, why couldn't that happen to me? I'm just as good as anyone else. And we all know people that don't have much of an education and they're not even that worldly and they're very, very successful. Now, I'm not judging, I'm not putting them down. I believe the difference with those people and the educated person that says, I did everything right. I read every book. I've done every mantra. What's wrong? The difference is only the belief system. That's the difference. That's what creates your reality. So we have to remember that. And we have to unlearn the negative programming that creeps into our conscious mind moment to moment.
Is it the belief system that we get to plug back in? Is the belief system, I'll go back to Rumi last week, of the divine light that is within, that we are all from starlight, we are all from stardust, we are all from the divine, and remembering that level of self?
Absolutely, because there is not one problem that exists in anyone's life that there is not a solution out in the quantum realm. It's there. So we have to learn how to sort of jump towards it in our thought process. So people say, well, Kim, are we going somewhere to another Earth? Are we going up in a spaceship? Well, I don't know about that. But what I do know is we are going to different places in our thoughts. That's where we're going to the unknown, where we've been suppressed to believe we're so limited. We're really stepping into new territory. And once we start to recreate our thought patterns, why not me? Things do start to shift. And then then you will call it luck. That's what we were programmed to do. Wow, I just got lucky. There's no, you shifted your thought process and you wanted it badly enough and you were willing to work for it, or you were willing to do anything that. And in your opening prayer, I loved always for the highest good, where it won't take anything away from anyone else. Then you can have it, whatever it is. You just have to believe you deserve it, and that you're worthy, and that if we shatter the illusion of separation, I am you, and you are me, and I am that successful person, and I am that pauper. We are all of it. But what timeline do we want to be on? You get to choose. Because now we're shifting timelines.
We had a guest on just last week talking about quantum jumps and simultaneous realities, Cynthia Sue Larson and the Mandela Effect. And in a sense, that's what you're talking about, is it's as simple as this. Which radio station of your life do you wish to listen to?
Couldn't have said it any better. Which music do you want to listen to? What makes your heart sing? What makes you dance? What brings you into the higher vibration? Worry and fear and doubt? No, no. And they say if you believe the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same results. So we know that. That's the definition of insanity. So challenge yourself to do something different. Think different. Think different. Visualize. That's the key too. Visualizing is wonderful, but also believing that what you said about carrying around the twins, you were believing that they were already here.
Absolutely.
And you were just transferring that energy into the inanimate object that's actually coming to be now the real objects, which is going to be incredible.
So I'm going to bring it back to my boo-boo here for a minute, which is I'm this move fast, get things done. Not I'm very mindful and very present, but going from, jockey speed to half or quarter sloth speed has required me to look at everything differently. And I believe that's the case for everyone, because you're saying we get to look at the world differently. We get to look at the world anew. And I believe in a sense that's why for all of us, we're experiencing our own version of getting hit by an SUV right now, because it knocks us out of our current paradigm and allows us to insert a higher level one.
Yes, and my guides often tell me that if you don't listen to the signs that are all around you and what they're trying to tell you, the universe will do it for you, not in the most favorable way or the way you would have done it to begin with. So I think as a society, we've trained ourselves to distract from the healing, from what we need to feel, the pain from the past, the childhood, the shadow self, the past lives. I'll be here for another hour if telling you how many ways that are at our fingertips to help us distract, right? But there's nothing like sitting in the pain, physical or mental, spiritually, whatever that pain is, feeling it in order to release it. That's how we keep rising into a higher vibration. And knowing that that does not define us, that was just an experience in a moment of time, and taking from it the good, the bad, and the ugly, who learned what, who was the teacher, who was the student, and we find that it's all the same. It's always both. And moving forward. See, people get stuck in that victimization. Why did that happen? Poor me. How dare they? And they say that whoever you really attract in your life is helping you heal those parts of you that needs work. And then that teacher can go, and they usually do go. So it's not always about the other person. A lot of the times it's about what you need to heal, and they're just stepping in, playing the role as that actor. So that's one way of shifting how you look at the world. Like, it's nothing personal.
And I have this image right now of me in my arms and everybody holding themselves as a baby in their arms. And particularly for me right now, because of the pain, I'm rocking little Michael back and forth, saying, "It's okay. It's okay. It's okay." And I believe I'm about to cry. That just brings such a healing and a heart cracking open at a higher level to finally hear. It's one thing, the guides do call me dear one, just as you were mentioning. It's one thing to hear that from your guides, but to hear that from yourself.
Yes. We all have to parent the inner child, because that's where the wound is. As a matter of fact, I have many clients say to me, Kim, well, my husband's a grown man. Why does he treat me like this? And I says, well, in physical years, he's grown, but you're really dealing with his childhood self that didn't get what he needed, and he's acting out. So we all have that, though, all of us. I know where my childhood wound is. I do know, because it's been a theme for me. Um, and I have no problem sharing that, is the not being included in certain circles, and the clickiness drives me batty, drives me insane. I see it with women in my life. They're they're just, hover in a corner, and they don't include everyone. And that's one of my wounds that I need to heal. So I'll always try to include people. That's just me per se. Why aren't I good enough to be hanging with that group, right? And it starts early. It really does start early. So we have to identify the wound or wounds, where they originated. It could be a teacher that said something, and you were so impressionable, and you believed them, and they were just dealing from their own pain. So it's really just seeing everybody and where they sit in their pain. But I love, yeah, we all have to hug the little kid inside of us, whether you're a parent or not. If you saw a lost child in a supermarket, Michael, and they were hysterically crying, looking for their mommy or their daddy, just as another human being, you don't have to be a parent. You would go up to them and say, "Stay with me. You're safe," and help them. We'll find them. And so that's the little kid. We have to just say, we're gonna find your mommy and your daddy, and it's all gonna be better, and it is. And this is where we're going. We're going to the father right now, aren't we? The mother and the father.
So going from there, a few last questions, and then I want to dive real briefly into a reading one more time here. First intuitive hit, because I believe these are so important. Where is Kim going from here?
Well, every message I receive from my higher self, my guides, and other people, they keep telling me I need to relax. I am in a state of relaxation. They don't want me to do anything. And that's not my nature. So I'm having this internal struggle with, what do you mean you don't want me to do anything? But since COVID, everything has just stopped for me. I have no complaints. It had to, because like a GPS, I'm being rerouted. That I do know. The human Kim and the spirit Kim would like to write more books, or I should say channel more books. because that will always live in time and space, even after I'm long gone. I would like to just continue to be what I believe I am, whether it be television, books, podcasts, a teacher, and someone I think who people can trust, speaking on their level, being transparent, because we all are the same. I don't care what you portray on social media. You have the same problems I do. And I know that. And I have found, Michael, that when you show your wounds, people are able to open up their own wounds. And that's how the healing begins. No facades. No more facades.
So one last question for you, then a little bit of a reading here again, and I need to direct people to your sites, of course, is where geographically is the intuitive hit so far for you?
In some weird way, I do not feel it's Florida. I don't have a reason for it. Um, Tennessee keeps sort of circling around my head. I've been there once or twice. I don't feel drawn to the West. Not now, anyway. I feel I'd like to have mountains around me. I feel drawn to that. Maybe a higher altitude. Doesn't have to be too high. I would like to be a little bit more remote, away from the hustle and the bustle. I'm a city girl at heart, but I need I need solace. I think the sensory it's getting worse for me. All this energy around me, so I need to decompress somewhere. And it may be a place that I've never even been to yet. But I'm a Cancer rising, so I struggle because I need to have family around me. And the family is in Florida and New York. So I'm just waiting for the perfect storm, not not literally, not literally. I don't even want to
Cancel,
say
clear,
that.
release. Yes.
Cancel, clear, release, for everything to kind of just come together. And actually, that's how everything in my life has always been. I do not plan too much because spirit always just nudges me where they want me to be, or where I already know I should be, or my higher self mapped out already. So I wait for the map to unfold. And then I look for the signs. And then I also look for where the doors are being closed in my face. I think people don't look at that often enough. They try to push through that door only to realize that wasn't their door. And spirit was keeping you out for a reason. And my husband and I have both learned that the hard way. And now we don't push. When the door just effortlessly opens up and everything just falls into place, we know that's our door. So I'm looking for my door right now, or waiting for it to open.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. If we go back to spirit, any um, words of wisdom or guidance that spirit, then we'll ask about the girls, but that spirit wants to share with Jessica and myself um, during this time?
Okay, I always hear the answer as before the person finishes the question, and I heard slow and steady wins the race. I also heard two words that you should probably print out and put it everywhere in your living space. And they're in quotation marks, and it says, just be. And then they actually showed me like a little bumblebee. And this is not the first time I've gotten this reference, by the way. So maybe that's a message for me as well. And I find that they do that often. They give me messages for others that are apropos, but also that I need to pay attention to. Um, uh, you are right where you're supposed to be. They show me a big giant picture of the universe. I'm sorry, Earth, planet Earth. I see all the water. I see all the divisions, like, cut out man, land masses, and then I see like a dot, and there's Michael and Jessica. Like, you're the dot, right? And I'm seeing it from space. And I said, okay, what is that reference? And they show me you're just the point of light. And wherever you wind up, your light will beam into the universe. So you will go where your light is needed. And that's what you've been doing. So they show me you're like ping-ponging all around the earth where the light is necessary. Where the darkness shines, there will you be, your pinpoint of light. Yours and Jessica's like standing close together, and the girls, and then it just becomes this bigger light. So it matters not really where you are, but you'll be guided where there's a place that your light needs to shine on the darkness. So that's pretty cool.
That's very cool. I'll take it. Thank you. And then anything that the girls, any last words that the girls want to share with us at this time?
But probably not anything you expected or I expected, but they showed me Ruru, your rooster. And I said, okay, what about Ruru? Is the rooster 13 years old by any chance?
No, he's 21 months old.
That's it?
Yeah.
He's
still a toddler.
A 1 and a 3 comes across. Mm-hmm. I have no idea what it means. So I saw 13. Did you have Ruru in the basket when you were driving?
Yeah, he has a soft kennel that he sits in the car.
No, the bicycle. When you were right.
No, the one time I take him with me everywhere except on the bicycle. I
just keep seeing the rooster like throwing up, and I'm like, all right, is it something the rooster's eating? And I'm like, is he picking up Jessica's? Like, it has to do with the feed. I keep hearing the feed, like what you're feeding.
Okay, we can look at that. Feed.
Yeah, it's something is switching. It's getting lodged in its intestines, and I'm feeling like they said they know you need Ruru right now. So they want Ruru to stay healthy for you. And I saw like the feathers coming off. Is it losing its hair?
Not yet. The only thing is he's our emotional support animal. He is so connected to me that and he brings joy to everyone everywhere we go. When I did not come home, that really hit him hard, and he is stressed out and having more diarrhea at the moment because I'm not carrying him and loving him the way that we are so bonded simpatico, and right now there's not much temporarily, maybe for only another week or two, maybe just till I have surgery, that I'm not able to give him the love that he needs. And that's upsetting his stomach.
Well, this is interesting. They said, just as you were purging, Michael, so is Ruru purging. But it's very in sync with you and Jessica. Okay, so it's sort of what you just said. But I don't want to take away from the fact that the girls showed me this little feed, like they're calling it feed. So is it seeds? What are you giving this?
So we give him a bunch of different types of, he gets...
Like corn?
Wild bird seed. Well, that's interesting. So we did get something new that we're trying that is called, but it's not non-GMO, that's called chicken crack. And that does have corn in it. That's the only thing that's new added to his diet.
Get it out. Go back to the old, please. They want the rooster to be good and healthy for you and for, of course, Jessica, but this is your soulmate. And that's like, they wouldn't let this go without giving you this insight, and the fact that it's called crack, this is what they just said, means that it's addicting like crack now, when something is so addicting, it's typically not good for you.
So I know I also give them little bits of granola, but on much limited basis. So, okay,
It's what you used to give that it's like don't change it if it's not broken. So just sort
the
of go
chicken
back.
cracks new.
Yeah, no, no good.
On that note, because I get my readings on it, do they love Rue?
Oh my gosh. When they were speaking about Rue, it was like their sibling. There was love like a sibling. There was no, um, we need to introduce ourselves. They already know each other. They've been around. Rue can sense their energy. They're very familiar with each other. So it's a sibling. It's just another sibling. It's not even like a pet. There's so much intelligence with this rooster that they um, they already play with the rooster, and it's like it's the same. No difference. The love has been growing since day one because they've been around you for a while, waiting to come in for the perfect time, the perfect place, the perfect space.
In automatic writing, they say he's a hoot.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, they're playful. Um, there might be more animals joining your tribe. I just saw because one of the girls is like wants to open up a zoo
Wow.
because those animals are so unconditional and loving. So you'll have I see a bird like a parrot or some bigger bird. I like not a rooster but a bird. I'm not sure about the four-legged guys. I don't know that I see that really. They seem like more different types of animals. Maybe more manageable on the road.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're at three kitties and one rooster, and now it'll be two twins, Jessica and myself, in some sort of an RV when we travel.
Yeah, so it's more manageable, maybe like a snake. I'm just giving you like, like easy to manage. It's something in a cage or not another kitty or not a dog. I don't see that, but let me see any other messages for mom. They wanted to address mom.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah, they want to address mom. So let me wait for that message. They told me to have you rub magnesium lotion on her legs for the cramping. So I'm not sure if she's getting muscle tightness or restless leg at night. Um, there's a magnesium will help with that with her achy. Oh, look at that.
Liquid magnesium right here in my hand. We can do this.
Okay, so who uses it though? Do you?
We both take this internally, but it's by Dr. Carolyn Dean, Remag. I imagine I can put it on cotton balls or I can get a spray bottle version of this or just put it in a spray.
Or just put it on your hands and rub it on her legs, because they're leaning on sort of the nerve by the hip when she sleeps, and so it just will help relax everything that shoots down the leg. Okay. They said that they can't wait to play with mom. They're playing with her internally already. They show me peekaboo. So I think I'm not sure what gestation she's in right now. You said 12 weeks?
So she's at 13 weeks now. When we had the ultrasound 2 days ago, they said that the girls were in the worst position for an ultrasound because there was like one hiding behind the other.
Peekaboo. Now, this is what I saw. I saw her laying flat in the bed, and when they start to grow, the peekaboo comes from this side, you'll see a hand, and then this side, you'll see a foot, and they're like kind of, they're actually doing it on purpose, playing, and they are playing peekaboo already. So, um, they work in sync with each other. They work well as a team. I just heard double trouble, and that was with a side laugh, like
Yeah, that's what I'm
um,
getting.
So when you channel them, they said that it's not just them two, there's three. There's one that you lost that chimes in as well.
Interesting, because there's my feeling is that there is a boy circling around, and that if we're not even careful, we would get pregnant quickly afterwards with boy immediately to follow.
Which, if that be the case, because I trust what your guidance is, it would be one that tried to come and wasn't able, wasn't the right time. So it would be re-emerging, but is also part of the team
Interesting.
when they write through you. It's not just them. They want to let you know that.
I've been feeling that. So that can I say poor Jessica in a positive way? Because she is so nauseous. She's in bed almost all day, every day, exhausted. Although thankfully, starting approximately a week ago, it is starting to ease up just a little bit.
So again, I'm not an herbalist. I don't like to prescribe anything, but what they just showed me was taking a pure organic essential oil of peppermint and just like putting it quickly, not too much, like letting her smell it. And I see the nausea getting so much more calm and subsiding.
Okay, can do that.
You have to let me know if that works because
I will, and we'll know quickly because she is so sensitive to smells, so incredibly
it
sensitive.
it has to be quick, like a quick passing. Don't like leave her nose there. That won't work. It's quick, quick. Not even in an infuser. That's too much. Just like smelling salts, like quick. See if that helps because that's what they just showed me, and I had this overwhelming smell of peppermint. So I knew that's what they wanted me to say.
Is there anything else they wanted to tell her?
They just again like almost saying namaste, thanking her for housing them because they understand the discomfort she's going through in order to get them to Earth from point A to point B, and never giving up. They says, Dad, we always we thank you always, but there's a special thank you to Mom because she could have said no, I don't want to do this anymore, and just it's a testament to your audience. This is what they just said, to never give up. Your rewards are waiting. How much work are you willing, and how much are you willing to sacrifice for the reward? And this, they're not ego in that they're saying they're the reward. They want me to be clear on that. They says we will reward each other, and it's a strong desire for her to bring them in and you because they put that desire in your both of your hearts because it's a mutual desire. That's why.
That's interesting because that's a whole discussion. Whenever I say we called them in, I will stop and I'll say, wait a second, where did the thought come from? How do I know that they didn't put the thought in us and we co created, called each other in?
I had no idea that's what you think will say, so that's a wonderful validation for you because I thought it was a bizarre statement, but I don't even question anything. I just go with it because whether you know it now or you know it in 3 months from now, just as when I predicted them or the twin energy, you know, I could have said to myself, wow, this is a pretty bold statement I'm making here. But I just trust that this doesn't even come from me anyway. So it's all good. They know better than I do.
Last question for them, then let's get your URL. And this has been beautiful, Kim. I have no idea. My guess is other people's hearts are going to be as cracked wide open as ours are today. But we've got proud mama papa energy going. So who knows?
Well, it's all, you know what? It is all about you and them today. And I think that it should not have been any other way because your your podcast, your YouTube, whatever, it's actually called Inspire Nation. So you are the inspiration. And like I said earlier, you share yours encourages people to share theirs and to embrace.
The last question for them then is, do they have any thoughts on how we attract, call in, or find the right birthing center slash OBGYN slash everything to bring them through to Earth?
Okay. I had a whole visual again before you were finished. There will be, you will have both happening at the same time. So you will have a traditional OBGYN in a traditional operating room, birthing room setting with a doula, whatever you, isn't that what you call them?
Doula, and there's doulas that are assistants, then there's midwives, yes. So
Maybe both, one or the other. I just see someone standing off to the side. And I actually see both techniques happening at the same time. And I feel they've done this before, these midwives, doulas, where they're they want to uh, err on the side of caution, right? Is that how you say it? Caution on the side. So they there's like they want you to have all the coverage you need. Um, one of the girls is a little bit lazy and doesn't want to come out. She's like sleeping all the time. She's so like chill, so chill. She needs a little like push. The other one's like come on, let's go. And one of them is just like, leave me alone, I'm sleeping. So you may need a little coaxing for that one girl. She's a lazy bones. She likes her sleep, by the way, right? So, but there's your polar opposites. And I do think, let's see, how is it coming to you? Through your audience. That's what I just heard. Through your audience.
cool.
Just put it out there, it'll come. You'll actually have a few choices to make.
I like that.
Whoever Jessica is currently using is a really good source of information. Believe it or not. Like, I feel like they've been placed there to offer options. So that's where you're going to really start. I don't see you having to go. And then I feel like you'll have other people telling you this is who I used, and then you'll make your own choice, and it will be you'll get signs from the girls which way to go.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you for doing this now. Thank you for all of your work. Thank you for hanging in there with me in an interesting time. And I hold up my arm.
I am in awe that you did not reschedule this for a much later time.
No
So,
way. No way, no way, no way. Where can people go to find your work and to find out more, Kim?
well, I am on every social platform there is, but all of the links can be found on my website, kimthehappymedium.com. I'm very active on Instagram, which is Kim Russo Medium, and Facebook is Psychic Medium Kim Russo. And I do periodic live videos. I'm also, believe it or not, just started TikTok.
Cool.
So, yeah, my guides told me, listen, people want to hear from you. Doesn't have to be a long, drawn out thing. Just make quick videos because they usually give me the message for the day. And they said, we want you to share that. And one of the reasons why I've been pressed for time. So they said TikTok is the perfect platform, Kim. You have no excuse.
Yeah, that's 15 or 60 seconds. So yes.
Up to 3 minutes now.
Oh, but see, I haven't been on TikTok for a while. I need to get back on there.
Well, it's really all for just to deliver the messages, the daily messages that people might find encouraging and uplifting. That's what it's all about. This is what we have to do right now. We have to lift each other.
So just like you said, when you're giving me a message, it may be for you, as you're speaking about yourself and TikTok, it might be good for me to share my boo boo journey or our baby journey, which in many ways are one and the same, which is interesting. Boo boo, baby. Um, to, sh- to share the whole journey.
Wait, I just heard boo boo baby just be,
Oh,
because that's what they said earlier, remember?
yes.
They said don't forget add in the other B, just be.
I like it. Bzz.
Touche.
Any last words of wisdom you want to share with people, Kim?
You know what? One day at a time, 1 minute at a time, we're in this together. Find your community that believes in humanity first and foremost. There people are out there, you know, that's why there's people like you, there's people like me. We're not famous, we just have a mission that we want to share. And just do your best to inspire someone. You don't need a podcast, you don't need YouTube, just you can inspire your neighbor, you know. Just spread whatever sparkle you can, people. And you know what? Don't take life so serious. That's like a huge message. I've been getting the same message from myself.
I like saying life's too serious to take seriously. It's important that we play. That's what life's about. Plug in, play, feel the pull on your heart.
Well, there's like, this inner child, play like children, be like children, laugh like children, and dance like no one's watching. So it's very simple. It's very simple, easy peasy. I don't want to bog people down with all these, spiritual techniques and whatnot. It's a simple. Just go back to being a child again and find the wisdom from nature, really, and from just being a kind person. How about that? Let's start there.
Amen to that and a mighty woohoo.
Woo! I'm glad you could lift your shoulders.
So, so for all of my classes, we do 10 woohoos at the start to kind of elevate the energy in the room, and I make it to about 3 or 4, but I get that.
In my live events, I have people clap because it does. We do need to start off on a high note, and it gets everything moving. It's so yeah. I like this. I like the woohoo too. Well, I'll have to try that.
It was
But
Jessica who
thank
came
you.
up with it. She said, "Drop and give me 10 woohoos."
Oh, okay. Well, listen, she's part of the team. Can't do this without her. You know that. So all in all, thank you for having me. I will send you as much healing energy as I can, and I'm sure we'll all hear about this journey as time goes by. And that's it. I'm happy that you're still here. How about that?
Amen to that. Thank
Yes,
you.
amen, amen. You have too much left to do, Michael.
It's a lot. Kind, gentle, easy, good, slowly with a little bit of, okay, a lot of bit of just be
Just
peppered in.
be, just be, just be. So when you're thinking a million miles an hour, you're going to
Just
remember these words.
be.
Yes. Thank you.
So for everyone out there, everyone out here, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, get your soul purpose and the happy medium, and begin just being today. And above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo! Thank you. This has been tremendous and perfect and really interesting about the Florida, because I asked Jessica, I said, what's your intuitive hit if you could go anywhere right now? And she said, Costa Rica. I'm like, okay, anywhere in this country. She's like, Florida. So,
Temporarily, though, I don't know that I see you settling.
well,
But
I'm
again,
a mountain person. There are no mountains in Florida, so it would be temporary. But I am one heck of a swimmer. So I was swimming in New Jersey lakes until last week. So I love the water. So that would be good for this healing period.
it would. And I heard that it's been very unseasonably warm in the north. But yeah, you will be. It was as soon as I said perfect storm. You have no idea how much it's raining here right now, like in buckets. It was so, I wanted to turn the camera, but then I didn't want to distract. But yeah, we have had a lot of cloudiness, but that'll change. And that might be something you want to consider, but it will find you. It will
Interesting.
find you. Yeah.
Because we just had the wettest summer and fall of our lives being in the Northeast here, where I mean, it's blue sky right now. It did pour last night, but we've never experienced this kind of wetness ever. So that is interesting.
Yes, we haven't seen the sun in about almost 1 month. Yeah, I'm really perplexed over here, but who knows what's happening.
Have you gone to some of the nature preserves with the boardwalks with the you can watch all the birds around?
Yes, I have. They're beautiful.
I don't understand it because it's such a paved paradise there, but those places, the number of bird species that you see at once is just unbelievable.
I've been there. Yeah, I know. It was really a treat. But I'm like you. I like to go a little higher. This is a flat land, and it's my spidey senses are telling me this is not it. So I don't fight it. I don't, my whole life is a mystery, but that's how it's always been. I just wait for the next door. And then if I peek behind and I like what I see, I'll go through it. That's it. That's how I live, through my feelings. How does it feel? I can't plan anything because then I might just feel something different in the moment and say, nope, can't do that. So it's hard sometimes if you don't understand living like that, but we have to navigate that way right now.
I think we all get to at this point. It's the old school linear way. It's broken. What a beautiful prognostication of an interview I just had with Kim Russo. I hope you learned so much about yourself and with communicating with spirit and guidance and how to step forward on this path as much as I just did. Wow, what a special interview with Kim Russo. On that note, if you want to dive into a practice to learn how to speak with spirit yourself, with your angels, with your guides, with your kids, unborn kids on the other side, get the automatic writing experience. Of course, you can get the book, the audiobook, the Kindle at Amazon. You can also get it at your local reseller, and I love our local bookstores. And you can get the whole video-based program at live classes with me at automaticwriting.com. And if you like the live events with me, each Monday night you can simply click on the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of my live events with Q&As every Monday night, premieres, and much more. Plus, if you click that join link right down there, that join link, that invites you to become a member of our Mystic Circle, where I'm putting up near daily videos behind the scenes of everything we're going through with healing, with babies, with Ruru, with the works. Just click that join to become a member of the Mystic Circle and you get all the behind the scenes goodness that's going on. And of course, not last, but certainly not least, we have our School of Mystics every Wednesday night, 4 Wednesdays a month, where we teach you, because you're attracted to this, you're a mystic in training. We teach you how to bring out the inner mystic that's within you. A lot of channeled teachings, very profound lessons, an amazing group of like-minded people. So if you're looking for your tribe, you've certainly found it. And that you simply go to inspirenationuniversity.com, where you can find out more about the School of Mystics. inspirenationuniversity.com. Here's the link for the next amazing video. Big thumbs up if you like this. Leave your comments below. Love you guys so much. Shine bright. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Love you guys.